Hi everybody, Leslie here. I'm back in my craft lab. I know I've been missing for a week or so, but I've had the most awful cold and you will hear me through this video, so my voice goes occasionally. So I'm still not 100%, but I'm back. And there's another reason. I will show you with these cards while I'm chatting. There is another reason that I've not been on. I've been having a new block paved driveway put in and it's been too noisy, so I haven't been able to record, especially not with losing my voice. I couldn't even talk a bit louder, so I thought I would take the advantage. I'm filming quite late in the day after my workmen are done, and hopefully they'll be finished tomorrow so I can get back to filming a bit more regularly. But as it happens, I couldn't have filmed anyway because I've had this awful cold, which I think's been going the rounds in the UK, so I think it's all over the place. So today I've got 4 spinning puzzle cards for you. So these are reasonably flat, so I think you'd probably need a large stamp in the UK just because there's 5 layers on these, so you can see there's a little bit of dimension, and because I've done the hidden brad, there's even more, it sticks up even more in the middle. So I've got, these were all backgrounds that I showed me making them on a video. It's quite a few weeks ago now, and these were all done with some stencils and different glitter pastes and texture pastes and different things going through them. This was a different stencil, but it worked. So I've made 4 cards, and today's video is all about batching. And I've talked before about if you get into a method, you could batch make these for Christmas. So that's what I've done today. The only thing that I've not shown on the video footage is adding these Let It Snows on. So I'd already stamped the inside with Let It Snow, and I've stamped on the back as well. But I hadn't stamped these. So just really quickly before I start making these and show you how I batched and the order I did things in, I just literally the same stamp that I'd stamped the inside with, I stamped across the bottom edge of a piece of scrap out of my white scraps. So I know this is stamping card. I just did that in VersaFine, just with it on a block. So I just lined up my letters by eye across the bottom, and then came in with my trimmer and trimmed it this way, and then just trimmed each one out. So it only literally took a few minutes. And I'm wishing I'd put them on foam tape, but I didn't. I stuck them down with wet glue. They wouldn't have interfered with my circles spinning anyway. But there you go, I didn't do it. I stuck them flat. But I think they would have looked better if I put them on a tiny bit of foam tape, and then they'd have had a bit more of a shadow, but I didn't do it, so there we go. Don't forget that when I hit 1,000 subscribers, I am going to do a giveaway. So anything that I can find in my stash that I've got doubles of, I've got some stencils, I've got some stamps, I've got some from Skull and Crossbuns, I've got some from Stamps by Me, I've got, I think I might even have some old Do Craft stamps. They're quite interesting ones. So anything that I've ended up with doubles of over the years, I'm going to put a big bundle together. I'm hoping it's about 5 or 6 items. If you subscribe, when I hit 1,000 subscribers, I'll do a video, ask for comments on it, and I don't care where you are in the world, I'll pick somebody at random and I will send those out to you, whoever it is that wins that bundle. So if you're not already subscribed, please do. And if you are already subscribed, if you hit the notify, you'll know when I post a new video so that you don't miss it and miss out on commenting. I will leave the comments open for a good few days to make sure people have had a chance to see the video and comment when I get there. So yeah, it'd be lovely if I hit 1,000 subscribers before Christmas. That's hopefully my aim. Before Christmas is what I'm aiming for. So today's video is just all about batching and tips of what order to do things in and how quickly you can do it. And they really didn't take me that long. So it would work with any shapes. If anything, the circles are actually the less forgiving ones because you need to be more accurate to get your circle in the middle so that they look the best. But yeah, let's get on with it and I'll show you how I made these 4 cards. Well, I've talked about batch making these in videos before, so I thought I'd show you the process of how I would do it and how to make it a bit quicker if you want to make multiples, especially at Christmas. It's a time when we obviously make lots of cards. So I've got 4 of my panels that I made in another video, and these are all glitter pastes and construction pastes. This one, I rescued it in the same way that I did with the red glitter that I showed in a video the other day, by putting water and embossing powder on it to encapsulate the glitter, because it was like a texture paste. It wasn't really designed to catch the glitter, and the glitter was just coming back off. But yeah, it's got a lovely texture to it. So that was something that I did on the video with the little gnomes on the star spinning puzzle card the other day. I rescued this morning in exactly the same way. So I've got a couple of different panels, but I'm just going to make them in the same way. So you could have anything on your backgrounds, whatever you've got. And so I'm using, I think I've got 3 that were done with this stencil, and I've got 1 that was done with this stencil. It's a clear stencil, so it's really hard to see it on camera, but you can probably see it there. And this one's actually a cake stencil, really, but I've been using it on my cards. So they're the stencils I've been using. They're just old stencils out of my stash, but anything would obviously work for the backgrounds. And all I did was cut them down to 4 by 4 inches. So all of my panels started off actually at A6, UK, European A6 size. But I thought, let's make them all little squares because it's easier. So I cut them all down to 4 inches square. And then I went to my circle dies and I picked the largest circle that I could fit. And then in my particular dies, I did 1 and then I missed a die and cut the next one, cut the next one. So I skipped 1 down to the smallest I could get, this is the smallest I think in my set. These are tonic ones, but any nesting circles would work. Any nesting shapes will work that, you know, like I've used on all my other videos. This applies to all of them. And I could fit all of them on one of my die plates just to show you that I could fit them all on. So to make 8 cards, I need 2 of each. So did I just say 8? To make 4 cards, I would need 2 of each. So that would be 8 passes through my die cut machine. So I did all that off camera. It doesn't take long, because if you can fit them all on your plate, just cut them all in one go. And I was using scraps up. So this has all come out of my black scraps, every last bit of it. It doesn't all quite match, but you'll never notice it because you won't see the vast majority of this. And I used black because I had loads of black scraps and my cards are on black. So you can use anything. You'll only see it if you don't get your circle dead center. You won't see what's underneath. So you can use things that you've messed up stamping on and things like that. So cut them all to 4 inches square, cut out all of my pieces. I've actually got extras of the small ones. I think I've got 12 of those, and that's just so that we can do the hidden brad technique. So the smallest size, you'll need an extra of. And we will need also some scraps or another circle, whatever you want to put behind that's just a bit smaller than your largest one that you can pop behind. And I think I've got some extras of some of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not that one, obviously. I think I've got an extra of some of them, but whichever I've got extra of, I can use in behind, or I can find other scraps to go in behind. It doesn't need to be circular. So I've got most of what I need to put these together, and it didn't take very long to do that. And all I need to do now is just finish cutting out my panels. So I just thought I'd show you. This is the other thing I said, if you were batch making, cut out all your layers, then get your dies stuck together, which is what I've done here. I've got my low tack washi tape. I've got my panels ready to cut. So this one's actually the lovely, it's like a texture paste. It came in this set, which was in Lidl, it's the Marabou brand, and it's an acrylic effect paste. It's this one, and I think it's like a stone effect, but it works really well for snow. So there's no glitter on this. I'm hoping that my camera will pick up the texture in that. It's a really cool effect, and I haven't tried die cutting this, so I hope this will die cut through. without too many issues. And I've got my old trusty Sizzix on my desk, so you can see if it does. I think because there is like a stone texture to it, I am just going to run it through just to make sure. I'm going to run it backwards again. Fingers crossed this cut out. Yeah, it's, you know what, I think I'm just going to stick a shim in there, just because I don't think it's quite gone through. My plate's really old as well. I really do need a new cutting plate. So I'm going to flip my plate, and I am just going to find some scrap. So I've just got some copy paper that I'm just going to fold up and pop it behind as a little shim. And I think it probably would pop out, but let's just make sure. Yeah, if it's not cut through now, I don't know what, it never will, but you can see actually it's indented. So the worst it's going to have done is pushed the paste into the card a bit. I'm not sure I needed quite such a thick shim. Let's get my tape off there carefully. And if it's not gone through this, I probably only need to run my craft knife around here, just because this is really quite a heavy texture paste. I don't think it's gone quite through, but I think if I run my knife around it, will come out. And then let's just do the last one while we're here. Just a couple of spots it's not, so let's rotate it, make sure it's cut in a different direction. So just so you can see, I did have to just run my craft knife around on the thicker texture paste, because that had gone through a metal stencil, so it was quite a thick layer of the texture paste, and it is like a sand grit feel to it, so I think the dies just struggled to get through that. So having found the glue that I just got out, that my nearly 18-year-old daughter had borrowed, shall we say, all we need to do now is stick all of our layers together, and it takes time, but it's the sort of thing that you could sit in front of the TV, because this is all you need. So once you've got all these bits cut out, pop them in a little box, take your glue, sit in front of the TV and pop these all together. And I'm so sorry that I am losing my voice. That this is why I've not been filming, because my voice just starts to disappear. So I'm just going to sit quietly and glue all these together. So that's one done. On to the next one. So hopefully my voice has come back while I was gluing all those. So I should have 4 of these left, because these are the layers that will drop in onto our card, so that we don't have whatever's showing through. And we should still have 4 of these left, because we're going to do a hidden brad on all of these. So I should have 4 of those left, which I have. And then I knew I'd cut a few extras somewhere along the line. So I can use these ones to stick from behind, although that's probably a little bit small. So I'm just going to use this as a rough guide, just to cut myself 3 more that are roughly this sort of size. It doesn't, as long as it hides behind that, it can be bigger. So now all we need to do is make our holes in the middle of all these. So we want to take our middle piece out because we don't want a hole in that, and drop one of our spare pieces in because we do want a hole in that. And we also want to make sure that our puzzle is in its complete position. I always say with the circular puzzles, you want it in as close as you can get to matching up in its finished position when you put your hole through the middle. And you just want to put one of these in behind for when you make your hole. So when I've been making these previously, I've saved myself a bag full of templates. So these are all different sizes that I've done before. I'm hoping I've got a circle the right size. Aha, I found one. So I have got a template. It just needs to be, your template just needs to be the same size as one of the circles that you've used. So this was literally just made by fold it in half in another direction, poke a hole. With everything lined up and your piece in the back, pop your template. You can put temporary tape if you're not good at holding everything together. Right, so with your template in place, just make yourself a nice dot, and as long as you can see it, you're probably not going to be able to see it on camera. I've got pencil dot, yeah, you can see it. And I'm just going to use my Crocodile Big Bite. I'm using the smaller hole on it. I would use my Crocodile, but it doesn't reach far enough. If you've got anything else, you can always just use a pokey tool to poke the holes through. Whatever you want to do to make your holes through. This is just the quickest, and it goes through all those in one go. So if you've not got one of these and you're going to make a lot of these cards, I would recommend investing in one. I'll link it if I can find a link on Amazon, but I know plenty of people have got these. But yeah, you can always just poke all your holes through with a pokey tool. So I'm just going to do that for all 4 puzzles. And just so I don't lose any pieces, I am actually just going to stick my brad through the middle. So that's all of those ready to go. I've just pulled out of my drawer, I've got some 5x5 card blanks. These are ready scored, ready-made ones. They've been in my stash for ages. So I've just got my card blanks ready. And again, if you're doing batches, do everything in one go. It makes everything quicker to do all of the same thing all at the same time. So I'm just sitting there and folding these. So we're ready just to pop everything onto them. And I very often at this stage, if I'm going to put something on the back, like my hand stamp by logo, I'd go along and stamp all the backs. I've got my envelopes out ready. So if you're going to stamp on the inside, I do all that now. And I think I've got sitting, where have I put it? There it is. I think what I'm going to do is stamp one of the nice Let It Snows from this set. This is Crafter's Companion Watercolour Christmas Let It Snow, and it's got the Let It Snow with the shadow die and then these little Let It Snow stamps. So rather than putting a Happy Christmas or anything on, a little Let It Snow on the inside. And this is what I mean, when you're batching, do all of one job at once. Daughter's been using this. It was my mum's birthday and my daughter's been using my stamp platform and it's filthy. Look how dirty that is. My daughter is, my younger daughter, who's the one that's been using it, is 15. Not a baby. But she just comes out here and does her own thing. So, like I say, if you're batching things, set yourself up to do everything the same in one go. And I do very often just hand stamp the insides. But if I'm batch making, this is possibly quicker. and it also means you're less likely to mess it up. You can double stamp. And obviously I'm doing 4, but you could do 10, you could do 20, you could do as many as you like. And this is what I don't think I've ever shown this on a video. This is what I stamp the backs of my cards with. This is, it says Handmade in Windsor, and it says www.handmadeinwindsor.co.uk on it. So I am actually going to stamp the back of these because I think these are probably going to go to a craft fair. So I've not done any craft fairs since before COVID, and there's 2 reasons for that. One is, around here at least, most of the craft fairs didn't move back inside because they started allowing things to go on outside, obviously. But things didn't move back inside as quickly as I would have liked. And all the stalls I've ever done, whenever we've been outside, it's been a right old mess. And it's not just the British rain that's the issue, it's wind. If you've ever done paper craft things outside when it's windy, even if you've got everything in plastic bags, and I used to do the stalls with my mother-in-law, who made beautiful hand-sewn things, and some of those didn't go in bags, some of it did, but everything would just get blown around and ruined. So we learnt very early on in our crafting stall life, about 15 years ago, that we wouldn't do any outdoor stalls. So we didn't do any because of COVID. And then if you've been watching my videos, you'll know that my mother-in-law passed away in April. So I've not done any because she got ill very quickly and passed away. So I've not done any this year, but my father-in-law has asked that all the stock that she left, which is a lot because it's years worth of things that we had left, plus things that we'd started making for stalls, and he's asked that we start to sell some of that in aid of the hospice that helped look after her in her last week or so. So I am going to be doing some Christmas fairs this year. I've got 1 booked already. So if you are in the UK and you're around the Berkshire area, I think the first one I'm doing is on the 25th of November. And it's only a little local village fair that I'm doing. But I will be selling some of these and a lot of the beautiful things that my mother-in-law's left behind. And if anyone's interested in that, I will pop details maybe on the Facebook page. And I think we've got another one on the 9th of December maybe. I've not paid for that one yet, so I think it's planned but not quite there yet. So, but they'll all be near Windsor. I think the 9th of December one is in Bray, which, if you wonder why you know the name Bray, it's where Heston Blumenthal's fancy restaurant, the Fat Duck, is. So I think we might be doing one at Bray Village Hall, which will be nice. And that's just outside of Windsor. So, as we said, when we're batching, do all those things that are the same all at once. So we're just gluing again. Last step is foam tape on the back of here and foam tape around the brad so we can pop our centre in. And that's it. These ones will be done. And I always leave it so that the little legs can still spin if they need to. And I've got some nice black foam pads for the centre, which just means they won't show up around the edge. They won't show up if from the side, because everything's black. So I've got black, I might as well use them. And when I stick these down, I just make sure that my pattern is lined up, because you want it all to look the best in its complete position. You can see what I mean now, that the black foam pads won't show from the side if they do show at all. And there we go, this one's all done. So stamped inside, stamped on the back. I could add a greeting somewhere on there, like in the bottom corner, because especially on this one, it's not got anything on the pattern down here, so I could put a small greeting in this bottom corner maybe. Not decided yet, but otherwise it's all completely finished. They didn't really take that long to batch. So these were all backgrounds I had. They could have been inked backgrounds, they could have been pattern paper backgrounds with things stuck on them. Really wouldn't have mattered as long as I could still get my dies through it. Anything goes for what you put on the top of these. You just still need to be able to die cut through it when you're finished. Or if you've done something that's a nice one layer, you can always come back at this stage, now that these are all put together, and you could come back and put sequins on them, whatever it is you want. But look, these are all lovely spinning puzzles, and these will actually be quite complicated. And just so you understand, if you've not made any of these before, with the circles, you shouldn't really be able to see any of the layers, but if you don't get your whole dead centre, hopefully you can see on this edge, you can see the layer underneath, but because I've done it black to match the colour that I had on my background, you don't even notice it. So I haven't got the whole dead centre, so when this is out of place, in fact, perhaps you can see better here, this bit here is showing, but that's why I fill in the layers with something that tones in, and that's for the circles. On the shapes where it shows, I generally speaking do it in something completely contrasting so that it actually makes a feature out of it. So I've shown that with like the stars and put red and green underneath, or put silver underneath, and I think that's quite fun. But with the circles, it looks wrong, I think, if a different colour's poking out. So I tend to match the hidden bits underneath to whatever my card colour is, which is why I tend to go for a basic black or a craft or something that I can hide it. So that's 4 cards. I'm having a little debate with myself whether I want to find a nice little sentiment that would stick in the bottom corner, because at least on these ones that I've put all the same way around, in this bottom corner I could put something that would fit there. In fact, I could on this one as well, so I might do that. There's a nice quick way to batch using backgrounds or using panels that you've created, and that's how I do it. That's how I did it. And anybody who's watched all my glitter backgrounds, this is all I've got left. So this is my last one. So I think I will do 2 mini slimline, because this is a 6x6 stencil, but as you can see, really it's 2 3x3 stencils. So I'm going to cut this into 2 3x6 panels and make 2 cards out of that, and I've not quite decided what I'm doing with that, but yeah, I've got an idea for a new technique that hopefully will work. So that's the 4 cards for today. Hope you enjoyed. A few tips and tricks on batching. Sorry, my voice is just keeping going. And don't forget to hit like, subscribe. If you're enjoying my content, I've got a giveaway coming up when I do hit 1,000 subscribers. So I'm a tiny little creator, I've not hit my 1,000 views, subscriptions yet. I think I'm on about 860 last time I looked. So, and we really do a little happy dance every time somebody subscribes. So if you're already a subscriber, thank you for watching. If you hit the notify bell, you won't miss that video when it does pop up, hopefully. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll get there before Christmas. That would be lovely. So thanks for watching. Bye for now.